Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second game, week 6 of GXPC series. This will be the second game of the day. We have Team Phoenix Rising versus Red Dusk Esports. I am S Commander, your play-by-play caster today, and with me is White Lotus Kairos, who is my color.
I am bringing another color today, so it's going to be exciting matchup. We got we're actually getting into champ select here right away, but two teams in the middle of the pack duking it out. We're starting off the second half of the split, so I'm excited to see what adjustments teams are going to make and kind of what their mentality is going to be going into the second half of the season. So what should we be looking for? I think we got some roster changes to go over as well.
Uh, yeah, so on the side of Red Dusk Esports, they lost their 80 carry Finesse Day due to him hitting Diamond 3, so he's replaced with C9 Cheesecake. Uh, haven't I've played against him before, but it's been a while, so I like see how he's improved since the last time I played against him. But their roster is still pretty solid. KTA has always been a pretty good, rock in the mid lane. I know Pig is really good and deserves the Graves ban he just got. I've played with Ye for a long time. He's a very consistent player. I don't really know much about their top laner. I haven't seen him play or anything. And for the side of Phoenix Rising, I know they've been definitely on a hot streak lately. With the new team they've like sort of put together over the last couple weeks, bringing in new support and having Alex go to the top lane. So it's gonna be exciting to see these new teams face off.
Yeah, it's a compelling matchup, and I shouldn't say middle of the pack. TPR is actually sitting in the second spot at 6-3, and then RDE is just behind them at 5-4. So one game swing actually does quite a bit in the standings, and even more for morale. When you look at kind of which teams you can play against and which you can pick off, if you're able to beat the number 2 team, that gives you a lot of confidence against those other teams with less wins. So definitely both of them want to set the tone. And there are 3 jungle bans across the board, so we might see some of those pools pinched down a little bit, especially for Smell Pig. They might force him to pick the jungler early on, and then also 2 supports banned out. And Kaze picking up the Echo, relatively safe pick, and also it's one of his most played. He didn't want to go for the Zed or the Yasuo, so goes for a little bit of the safer assassin pick on Echo. Blind, feeling comfortable enough to blind that. And I actually haven't seen Jan MJ play either. Lots of tanks up there, it looks like, in his top 4. It's Maokai, Malphite, Garen, Mundo are 4 of the top 5 most played. So probably that's the most comfortable. And they might have KTA, still on in a carry role, and they might just look to support from the top lane. But they are going to get to pick these 2 back to back. So Kog'Maw, and then they're going to be looking for a really good support to get him through lane. So I'm thinking a heavy lane support would be very helpful pickup for them.
Yeah, I think something like maybe something like the Braum, leaning more so that way, someone that can really sit in front of the Kog'Maw and block a lot. And then RD also went ahead and picked up the Wukong there, in the jungle. I know it's not a pick we've been seeing a lot lately, especially a lot of nerfs to the domination tree and Wukong himself. So I'd be interested to see how that works. And Canadian Champ's going to go ahead and pick up the Warwick here, relatively strong early jungler. So he's looking to pick up some of the team's tempo with that.
And not a huge surprise there for the Warwick pickup. Canadian Champ is known for his Warwick, and then they grabbed the Lucian, knowing that they don't want to have the ADC Nutrinks banned out in the second round, so they go ahead and pick up the AD with the Kog'Maw already showing. I think that Warwick brings a lot to the table in the early game, but Wukong is just going to have so much more utility and damage in the late game. So Canadian Champ is going to have to do a really good job of staying on top of the Wukong in the early game and trying to get as many advantages out, because if that Wukong gets rolling early, it's going to be a very long game for Phoenix Rising. And then that Nami locked in, maybe looking for a little more sustain. What do you think about that? You're the bot laner here.
So Nami is a good pick here. So I think because they picked more of Enchanter, you expect to see more of a tanky top lane. But Nami is we're works pretty well with the Kog'Maw. Gives them some attack, auto attack buff, some movement speed. Does have some disengage with the tidal wave. And is pretty good in the lane, a lane bully, and is able to sustain the Kog'Maw pretty well. So that I mean I like the combo there, but you got a lot of dive on the side of early on from the side of TPR with the Echo and the Warwick and Lucian that can gain Kog'Maw's face. So they're gonna have to definitely, if these next picks coming up, try to draft a little peel for the Kog'Maw because I don't think the Nami is gonna be enough to just keep him alive.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of dive and mobility between Warwick and Echo already shown. Kog'Maw, before
Oh,
getting
I
oh,
got sorry, I cut you off here. I just got word that the Kog'Maw pick was an accident. It wasn't meant to happen. I guess the top laner had some bug where it locked in a random champion, so I don't know if we're gonna get a restart or not.
oh boy. Well, I know that this is one of the things, pro draft, regular draft, you're going to have these things happen either way. So I'm not sure. I guess we will let you know as we come across a ruling on how we're going to go forward with that, if it's going to be played out or not. Um, but both sides are going to need to pick up a top laner, and RDE is going to have the counter pick at the end. So we'll see if they keep that, keep the Cogman. It looks like they're going to save counter pick for top lane over here, and then um, Alexander is going to have to go blind into the top lane matchup with one
Yeah.
of these next two picks.
Yeah, so KTA decided to go with the Syndra. I know he's pretty comfortable on it. But normally a lot of people see the Echo Syndra matchup to favor the Echo, like past like three post three. So maybe he's just feeling a little confident himself with the matchup here. Interested to see how that goes. And side TPR is going to pick up one of the favorite tanks right now in this league, in Ornn.
Yeah, very safe matchup there, or a very safe blind pick, I should say. The Ornn does pretty well. There's not a ton of really oppressive lanes for him to play into, so that's a smart pickup there, knowing that they have to blind it. And that's
Yeah.
interesting to see the Karma support matched in there with the Lucian.
Yeah, I actually like Karma a lot as a support, especially here. It's a pretty good pick into Nami as well. It just is able to outpoke the Nami and outrange Nami a lot of times. It works out the Lucian, and the rest of the team really, because you see those two, like, the two carries that they have, the Kog'Maw and the Syndra, are pretty immobile to help the team kind of like be able to run at them and dive at them a little harder. And then the side of RDE is going to finally go with the Scion, which is the other tank that we've been seeing in the league lately. We've been the Ornn and Scion, seeing this matchup a lot lately over the past week. So no surprise to see them picked again.
Yeah, both taking kind of a similar approach, that they're both going to be looking to play through the bot lane, very much so. That RDE, that's kind of their solo win condition, is in the bot lane, kind of making sure in the late game at least that Kog'Maw is untouched, and so they're going to have to do a good job of kind of facilitating that bot lane and babysitting a little bit. And I think Lucian and Karma are really going to be able to put a lot of poke down, and kind of bully that lane down there. So we'll see how they're able to push that advantage, if they can get a big CS lead, if they can take that first turret and really delay the power spike of that Kog'Maw to get some early results.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely think a lot of the early tempo is going to be in TPR's favor. I mean, do have, especially in the bot lane with Lucian Karma, very oppressive bot lane, along with the early aggressive Warwick pick. But the later this game goes into the game, that's still Kog'Maw relative if he's in meta or non-meta. The later the game goes, the more it goes into Kog'Maw's favor, and if he could ever sing on a couple items, get in a team fight where he's not touched, he can really do some damage. Like the Ornn and Warwick are just gonna get shredded through the later this game goes, and yeah, I do like Scion. Do have a huge beefy front line, and you do have some peel with the Wukong and the Nami in the Syndra, just a lot of CC with those characters and the Scion.
Yeah, I
So
was going to comment on that. That I do like the Scion pickup. I probably would have gone with Scion or Maokai, knowing that Gen does play that as well, and it was up. That both of those are the tanks that also bring some peel to the table for the Kog'Maw. That Nami alone probably wouldn't be enough. Wukong wants to be diving in the first place, so I like the Scion pickup here, where you're into Ornn, so even if you go with a carry or something that's strong in lane, you aren't going to get that much of an advantage, but you get a lot of late game utility out of the Scion. So it's really going to come down to I smell a pig being able to get an early snowball, because Wukong can be very scary if he gets rolling early. So I'll be, of course, the jungle main, looking at the jungle matchup to facilitate the early game win conditions, and Wukong trying to get a snowball going, and then Canadian Champ trying to put these lanes so far behind that they can end early with this Lucian.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with the jungle matchup. Try and get something rolling early across the map, but being the AD main, I also like to see this bot lane matchup, the Lucian. I'd like to see this Lucian Karma lane like get a lead bot lane where it's CS or picking up a kill here and there, but to get something rolling, because the later this game goes, I mean, the Karma is going to outscale, and you're a Lucian. You have 500 attack range into Syndra, who's notoriously known for one-shotting AD carries, and she definitely outranges you as the Lucian. So I feel like you have to get a lead there early, because she's going to be able to rip through you, getting into that mid game once you hit 2 items on the Syndra.
So we're about 20 seconds from going into our commercial. Quick, 5 seconds. Who's your pick and why?
I'm going to take TPR in game one, because normally most teams that get like the lead at 15-20 minutes normally hold on to and win the game. And I think they have the better team for that. So I'm going to go with TPR in game one.
I'm gonna just go other side. I'm gonna say RDE takes it. Wukong gets ahead and snowballs. So we're gonna head to commercial break. We will see you on the Rift.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Welcome back, everybody, to game one of TPR of Team Phoenix Rising versus RDE or Red Dusk Esports. Here we are. Davey's, sorry, I spaced that for a second. Davey's prediction was RDE for game one. I picked TPR for game one. It'd be interesting to see how these teams go. It's more of like an early game scaling team, or like early mid game on the side of TPR to like the later play around the Kog'Maw for the side of RDE.
Yeah, and fortunately for TPR, they still do have the win conditions. If they get into late game, Kaze's Echo can still get pretty big, and of course the Ornhorn is always scary when you have an immobile AD, as we were talking about during the break. That they still have the tools to win when it comes to the late game, but it will be more difficult. They're going to have to execute at a much higher level, whereas on the side of RDE, it's kind of just press R. And if they all press R at the same time, they can do quite a bit. So when we get into the late game, it'll come down to clean execution more than anything. So TPR would be very happy to close out earlier rather than later to make their lives as easy as possible. Both junglers here opting for a bot start, so we might get some action on the top side at about 3 minutes. That'd be pretty exciting to watch, see these guys duke it out.
Yeah, I also like the adaptation by RDE's bot lane. You know, they realize they're facing quite an impressive bot lane to go against. So the Kog'Maw did decide for the fleet, and Yeye realizing he's got to keep that Kog'Maw alive. I do like the choice of Exhaust over Ignite here.
And another in the top lane. I know that Cyan has a few options for keystones, but he went for the Comet just to get a little bit more poke, a little bit stronger lane, that he has some more damage to work with there. So I like that call, as Ornn does have a decent amount of damage as it is percent max health, but he doesn't feel threatened in the lane, so he's just trying to poke down and stay a little bit more relevant through the lane phase.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if Comet is the best choice to go. I know a lot of the players in this league been liking Glacial Augment a lot and been seeing it a lot in this matchup. So I mean, I think that might be a better room just because I've seen everyone else take it, but I'm not entirely sure.
KCA lands a pretty strong combo there.
Yeah, definitely getting the most of that trade. Hit level 3 first and was able to combo all of his abilities off pretty nicely.
Here's Canadian Champ looping around, getting the gank mid lane.
Yes. I think I'm behind. I think I'm behind.
And we're gonna recalibrate here real quick.
Sorry.
They were able to force the flash out.
Yeah.
And we're going to get synced up here real quick to make sure everyone's on the same page, so we will be back in just a few seconds.
Sorry everybody for technical difficulties. I was having some syncing up problems, but we are back into the game here. First blood did go to the side of TPR as Canadian Champ was able to gank mid lane, blow flash, repeat the gank, and get first blood onto KTA.
Yeah, they were doing a good job playing around the vision there, and KTA just not respecting the Warwick regank. They didn't have to use flash the first time around, so it's just really effective gank the second time that he committed to make sure that Syndra was stuck in the. Oh, we got Trey going here.
Yeah, Trey
Top
that
lane.
seems to be going in favor of Orange. We got gank in the bot lane. Wukong is here, is able to get a combo off, but no summoners blown. The side of TPR didn't feel like they were threatened enough, and that was a good play by them for not overreacting. The side of TPR does have a little bit of gold lead early on, 700, about 5 minutes here with the first blood. A little bit of CS up in the top and bot lane, but nothing too significant here. As they look for the Kog'Maw, he is Ruda. It's a good double bubble, and the Karma might go down. Heal is blown. Nutrinx goes forward, and he will be killed by Yeye. That was a good exchange from the bot lane at RDE, and well played by Yeye, able to hit the double bubble there.
Yeah, the excellent bubble from Yeye set that up, and I mean, both ADs were so low health that one auto either way would have turned that fight. So they felt comfortable going in with Yeye's exhaust down from an earlier trade, but they just weren't able to convert that, and tanking a turret shot a little bit too close there ended up going poorly for Phoenix Rising. So giving a little bit of leeway over to the bot lane. Fortunately for them, the kill goes onto the Nami instead of the Kog'Maw, but they still get a lane reset, and lane is now pushing into Team Phoenix Rising. We'll see if Warwick can come down and take advantage of the pushing lane, the blown summoners, as all of the summoners in the bot lane are down except for Lucian Flash, so very vulnerable right now.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Is Lucian did die with the flash up, didn't flash the bubble or flash to try to get a last auto there. So I felt like he could have traded 1-for-1 or maybe 1-for-0 if he would have flashed the bubble.
Yeah, it looked like Nutrinx was just on the edge of the bubble hitbox, so maybe he thought that he was outside of it. So very small margin right there. It makes a big difference in the bot lane. And one thing on the back to the first blood kill, I think that's just an example of the difference between what a Warwick can do in the early games, level 3 through 6, or 3 through 5, excuse me, compared to what a Wukong can do 3 through 5. The Wukong is trying to just farm to get up to 6 where he can start making a big impact, but Warwick immediately can jump on the map and gank, re-gank, camp, and just provide a lot more in those first 5 levels, whereas he's going to have a lot less impact in the team fights compared to Wukong after they hit 6. So right there, probably I Smell a Pig was more looking to get levels, get XP, and just let his lanes fight for themselves, where Canadian Champ wanted to exert that pressure as early as possible, which fits very well with their win condition. So they were on a good track until that trade in the bot lane kind of put them behind, but we'll see if they can recover. Here comes a gank bot.
Yeah, Wukong is here, flashes forward, does find the Karma, does have ulti, is slowed down, does get knocked up onto 2, Ignite does go down, and that is a kill for the Wukong as the teleport comes down from Ornn. Alexander does pick up trade kill, and TP from the Scion here. He is level 7. Unstoppable comes out, a flash away from Nutrinx, but he is still going to get slowed. Ornhorn comes up, knockup lands, and that is a kill for the Kog'Maw. 3-man knockup. Echo is here. We get a couple of trade kills as Ornn picks up 2, and Echo picks up another one for himself, and the Warwick is here as we have a party in the bot lane. Scion will go down here, having no summoners, and another kill for Kaze. 3rd kill of the game for him, and a trade kill for the Scion.
Man, that was huge. That was an action-packed last minute coming in there. And I Smell a Pig, just like we were talking about, once he hits 6, that go button is huge. So even he misses the flash, he's not quite in range to get that E off to jump to a target, but then he follows up and he gets that ult down, and it's just so impactful in the team fight that he slows them, knocks them up, allows for Yeye and Cheesecake to catch up and start putting damage down. And then the TPN, I was kind of questioning at first that Alexander didn't channel it sooner, where Jan was in, or Jan came in earlier. That it was just a little bit disjointed, but it ends up working out very well.
Overall, that was a 4 for 4, and the reason why Jan was a little late there was he had to get a recall off, and a flash bubble almost connects from Yeye. Calling comes out. That was hypey. I respect that.
Both
But,
teams are flying all over the map. This is a fun one to watch.
Yeah, accelerated game over the last 2-3 minutes here. As you're saying, that last fight in the bot lane did go 4 for 4 as there's a gank in top lane. Canadian champ looking for Sion. No summoners here. Does not have ulti either. He is suppressed down and he will go down as Echo is here also party. And Kaze 4 kills this game for the Echo.
And what we've seen over the past 2 minutes is just Echo's ability to roam so much quicker than the Syndra. That in the fight in the bot lane, Kaze was there while KTA was in base, and then right there again, we see him roaming up to pick up that kill in the top lane, and now he is 4-0-1 on a champ that he's comfortable on, and that's not what you want to see. And KTA is just not in the right places, not having nearly as much of an impact ahead in farm as you should be if you're staying in lane, but that is not nearly worth the 4 kills that Kaze has picked up across the map. So that's a little bit scary when you get this fed Echo that's going to be able to one-shot, and there's not going to be much you can do as he can just ult out if he's unsuccessful. It's a very safe champ to try and get that dive off.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier too about the Lucian trying to get a snowball, I mean, he is 0-2. I mean, Togma does have the kill, but he still has all the lane pressure, almost up 30 CS here. Only 11 minutes in, and there's just a lot of pressure from that Lucian Karma lane coming through. As Rift Herald was picked up, Warwick going down, Ornhorn comes out, barely gets away with his life. Syndra is there, Wukong is going low to the Ornn. Wukong wants to go back in, he is going low. Ornn trying to pick up a kill here and is successful. Alexander will pick up a 3rd kill for himself, as Echo's here to walk out the Ornn, as that was very close. Warwick living by slivers of health. Oh, and ulti on to KTA, just not respecting the Warwick at all, and he will drop, and Kaze picks up his 5th kill of the game on this Echo.
And that all comes back to KTA just being bullied out by Kaze. Wasn't able to join that fight. Canadian champ actually flashed the Ornn ult to get out in time, or flashed away from the Ornn and from the Wukong ult. And Alexander, already so tanky on the Ornn from those 2 kills that he picked up earlier, just has quite a bit of health, doesn't go down easily. And then Kaze is able to force KTA out of the mid lane, rotate over, and then KTA just walks back up when the Warwick is off cooldown, and then they get mid turret. I mean, that's just kind of some small misplays adding up in a big way. And TPR is looking to roll here as they're up 3.5k gold at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, and I mean, if Kaze wasn't ahead before with 5 kills, he also gets the solo gold from first turret in the mid lane as well. With that Rift Herald pickup, and it looks like we might have another part in this bot lane. It looks like 6 people down there, and the mid laner and the jungler might come in here, but I mean, Echo's hiding in the brush looking for a pick. Wukong is hovering as well.
And now with the mid turret down,
oh, yeah, Karma getting aggressive here, and now deleted the Nami is, but a trade kill onto the Karma here. Wukong does pick up a double kill for himself. The Echo from ulti does come out, and that's a double kill for Kaze. That's his 7th of the game here, and it looks like there will not be another trade as Canadian champ is hungry but will not continue further. KTA finally shows up in the bot lane himself, getting out-rotated once again. Ooh, and the Ornn's going to pick up the top tower as well here. Just have more pressure, and Canadian champ will find Pig as he picks up his 1st kill of the game. And Ornn, just smacking around this Sion a little bit, getting the best of every trade. Ornhorn will come out. It does connect, flash directly into it actually, as he might go down here as he just drops super low. And Alexander's displaying all of his dominance against the Sion.
Aliskander here completely forced Scion out of the lane, but still has his TP and flash up, so he's able to pressure this top lane. KTA coming up to answer, but Aliskander can go anywhere on the map that he wants to right now. Just tremendous pressure that he got from that early TP play to the bot lane that is all kind of snowballing here. And I don't think that TPR could have drawn up a better early game than what they have right here. I mentioned Canadian champ on the Warwick, his difficulty of executing in the early game, making sure that they snowball hard, but he's 1-1-5. He's done a great job of getting the kills onto the carries who need it. Echo is 7-0-1. Lucian not so hot, but the roaming mid laner just has so much pressure right now. KTA had to sit back at tier 2 to farm while Echo could sit in the bot lane waiting for that fight earlier on where he picked up another 2 kills. So they're doing a great job of forcing in lanes, then rotating over to the side lanes for kills and for these fights that they need to be forcing while they're ahead. So they're doing a fantastic job here, and I would just look for them to continue to force down these outer turrets and then play around the Baron as they do have these 2 Mountain Drakes. That's going to go down extremely fast with this team comp.
And I like this rotation by Kaze, just rotating to the bot lane. He knows he's the strongest person on the map right now. He can just go wherever he wants to force down the last outer tower. But looks like we might have another fight down here as there's 4 members. Echo gets locked up, is exhausted, has a lot of damage to Kog'Maw. He will go down to Nutrients. He picks up 1 Nami, dropping super low, but is able to get out with a flash. The Wukong is here, does ult. Cyclone only hits 1. As that's dropping super low. Unleashed Power will not be able to pick up a kill here.
Yeah, that fight's just too little too late. That Pig comes in a little bit late but isn't able to connect the knockup. He just gets 1, and it's Warwick. It's the tankiest person down there, so not the target that you want. And Cheesecake was already gone. There's no follow-up damage there. It's just the Wukong, the Nami, and then the trailing Syndra, but the ult isn't able to get through Canadian champ. Now with the Phage, they might have a pick on Wukong here. They just let him go. So, as commander, we're at 17 minutes. We got a 5.8 gold lead for Team Phoenix Rising. How do they close out this game? How do they ensure that they make it? Or how does Red Dusk Esports stall this out so that they can get to the late game team fights?
I think right now, I mean, TPR has all the pressure right now. Honestly, I think your win condition is just play around this Echo. You can put him a side lane against anyone right now, and he's going to be able to win that matchup, and he's 7-0. I mean, soon going to have, 2 items. Lichbane sure to come in here quickly, as that's what he should be recalling for right now, but is to play around the Echo once he gets Lichbane, put him in the sideway, and let him knock down some, the towers in the bot or top lane. And I feel like that's your win condition right now. I mean, you don't really have to do much else. Just let Kaze, carry you, and it's a free victory. Just don't get caught out right now, as I feel like that's all RDE can do is just try to get picks and hopefully just pick up waves and stall until hopefully Kog'Maw, is at a point where he can actually, stay alive. Maybe like 3 items, but that's a long way away.
Yeah, this is definitely going to have to be a forced 4v4, and they're going on Aliskander.
Yeah, and so Cyclone does get the knockup here. Echo is there. It's a lot of damage come out. He is able to flash away, and Aliskander is so tanky. He's able to live through all of that.
And they do force his flash out. And KTA flash is there for some reason. I'm not sure if that was a fat finger, but Syndra flashed down as well. And I think with the TP on the Ornn that they can even go for a 1-3-1. That Echo can split push, draw pressure, and also get out of sticky situations with the ultimate. Then also Aliskander, very strong on the Ornn, can take the Scion, has the TP available to join fights, just does a lot, is very far ahead. So I think they could even go with a 1-3-1, or what they're going with right now. They're kind of looking to group in the jungle, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, establishing vision. X-Dragon is a minute and a half, and I mean, they're just taking resources at this point. The jungle, RDE's jungle is not their jungle anymore. It is now Phoenix Rising's jungle, and they're taking whatever they want, whatever they please to. They're just denying resources right now. just putting RDE farther and farther behind, taking gold off the map, basically for them. As looks like they are going to just 5-man group here and maybe just force down a tower. Watch for the Ornhorn or the Echo lead here. I feel like they don't have the greatest of sieges though. That is the downfall for this TPR team, right? They don't have great siege. They do have great dive though.
I think that they definitely their dive, and then also their just their split push presence. The Ornn is so far ahead, and then again the Echo is so far ahead that they can put a lot of pressure on the map, not as a group. So if they separate from their 5, they have a ton of pressure points that they can play on. But right now, they actually invest quite a bit into the bot side. They have 1, 2, 3 control wards and 2 trinket wards around an Ocean Drake. Not exactly the most important thing. And they have actually 0 wards on the top half of the map with the Baron coming up. So I think it might be a slight misuse of vision resources here as they set up the Drake down there. They do get the Scuttle to protect that a little bit, but ultimately, I would like to see a little bit more protection around the Baron if they do rush this Drake. But they might just rush straight over to Baron after this. We'll see how they use it.
Yeah, they do get the Ocean Drake RDE. Maybe Yay try and get some vision control around this Baron area, hopefully. As Ornn here, Ornhorn does come out. Syndra, no flash, remember. As it does hit, and he does go down immediately. Unstoppable comes out, and Sion will be able to live, but that's a great pick and a great catch. KTA stepping up too far forward with no flash.
And right here, I think that they can just go over to Baron, reestablish vision control, and then burst it down if RDE doesn't come. But they decide to wait for a wave, look for a fight. But RDE can back up, and they're just going to try and wave clear. But Syndra back up in 10 seconds now.
Yeah, so it looks like they're trying to do what they can. See down a turret going below a half here, and it will go down.
Now KTA is back up, so they have a lot of their wave clear back from KTA. They're going to be able to answer these pushes. So I do think that it is necessary for TPR to pick up the Baron. It is part of their win condition to take that objective, as it does help their siege so much compared to what it is normally. And as we mentioned, that is kind of where one of their weaknesses, especially against the Syndra.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to catch the Sion out here. No ulti, but does have flash. He does able to take the blast cone over with Echo in pursuit, but it's just going to be a disengage.
Yeah, they're trying for these picks in the jungle, but I'm not sure if it's necessary. I think that they could just go to the Baron, force RDE to come to them, instead of looking for these fights in the jungle close to the base where RDE is relatively safe. And they're starting to get some items, starting to get harder to kill. But if you just start rushing that Baron and then turn for the fight with the Ornn engage, I don't think there's very much that RDE can do to counter that or to answer the Baron fight. So I'd really like to see TPR kind of take advantage of that, just the amount of pressure that they have on that objective, instead of looking for these picks that are slightly less, they just don't have as much pressure as what a Baron fight would bring to the table.
Yeah, and I mean another option for them too is just to start the 1-3-1, send your Ornn the bot lane, that teleport, and send Echo top lane, and just rotate and stall around the map, because I mean Echo is with the Lich Bane does do a lot of damage to turrets, and I mean you can then rotate through the jungle and get your wards down and clear out vision, find those picks. But it looks like KTA might get caught out again here. Ulti does land, and he's just going. Oh, is able to flash away. Does get a good stun here. Cyclone is pop. Echo looks for more, does find the KTA, and is going to ulti out. Kaze able to pick up KTA once again, as he is 0-4, not having the greatest of games, and it looks like they want to dive here, potentially. Ornhorn is up if they are looking for it. Echo on the backside.
Yeah, they did invest quite a bit for that, though. Echo ults, and then also the Warwick ult. They spent a lot trying to get those 2 kills, and ultimately they did get the 1 kill on KTA, but the wave clear is still there, and this game is just stalling out. they aren't able to get enough kills that they're able to siege, and I just see this going poorly into the late game if RDE keeps getting items, keeps fending off this attack. And it just seems like TPR refuses to use their advantage to force a team fight.
Yes, I mean, they do get a lot of damage on the sign here. Maybe a little chip damage on the turret finally, as the wave clear is looking good for RDE. So they just keep stalling and stalling.
I think it's very possible that Phoenix Rising earlier today or in their last practice had a bad experience with Baron. That's kind of what it seems like, that they're just staying as far away from the giant buff as they can. Canadian champ on the bottom side of the map, stealing camps, denying resources, but they just are not using. And he's gonna collapse on here.
Yeah, he might get picked off here. Does deal a little damage back. Has the ulti out here. But that's 4 in the bottom. It's a lot of resources committed. And Kog'Maw gets picked off here. Flashes away. Tidal Wave does come out. Ornhorn coming through here. And Kog'Maw will go down to Alexander.
Yeah, they get the pick that they wanted, but here they don't have a wave to push for a siege. 4 members are still up from Red Dusk Esports, and they can't rush the Baron because their junglers are on the bottom half of the map, and there's a ward in the pit.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to try to keep finding picks again. Bubble comes out. A good stun by KTA onto the Ornn. And once again, I mean, they just keep getting these picks, but aren't transferring them into any real objectives.
Yeah, this could be potentially the downfall of TPR in this game, that they've been so dominant. They aren't translating it into objectives, though, despite they have 2 Mountain Drakes. This would go down in probably like 12 seconds, if we're being honest, maybe less than that. That they know back timers, they got to pick, but there's just no sense of urgency, and they're stalling out this game for Red Dusk Esports. They're basically giving them their win condition right now, which is not what you want to see if they're trying to kind of keep the momentum up and trying to close out this game to start off the second half of the split well.
Yeah, and I mean, I just looked, and the next Drake is Ocean. They look like they're in position to just pick that one up. That'll be their 4th of the game here. Yeah, this should be uncontested. Here's RD is looking to get priority in that mid wave. Try to get some pressure on the map somewhere here.
RD is going over to the Baron now.
Yeah, they are getting a lot of vision down. They do have a lot of vision up in their top side jungle as well. Able to, you know, place those wards as fast as they get cleared out. So they do have pretty good vision control for themselves in the top side, you know, just keeping themselves safe here.
And in my opinion, I don't think that the Ocean Drake is worth it. There's not much that you're getting out of an Ocean Drake after, 15, 20 minutes over. You already have all the sustain that you need, so it might be good for re-engaging team fights, but the major value of that isn't really there. But they put the value of that over the value of Baron vision. So they give up. There's still two wards kind of near the Baron area, so they're going to get to see when TPR is moving in that area, and they give that up basically for free. I don't think that they needed to give up the Baron control, but they're looking for a pick here on Small Pig.
Yeah, and that's a good trade bit of damage for Kaze here. It looks like they are finally going for this like 1-3-1 style. They will be able to pick up the top tower finally, Alex, and they have pressure in all 3 lanes of the map here as all waves are pushing for them, and it looks like Canadian champ. Ooh, that was a good blast gun over to avoid the bubble, as that could have been a potential pick for them.
Yeah, they are putting pressure at multiple points on the map, and they're going for the Baron now. We'll see if... Oh, they're getting it back from I Smell a Pig, so this is probably going to go over free, or at least not smite contested.
Yeah, and I mean, it is going down quickly, 800, and that was an easy pickup. Good smite by Canadian champ as they finally pick up the Baron, 20, almost 29 minutes into the game here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they could have done this 6 minutes ago is my only issue with the play, that they kind of do everything, but I don't think it was anything they couldn't have done 5 minutes ago. But they've just given this, this Syndra and the Wukong and the Kog'Maw more items to work with, and more breathing room in the late game fights. They're getting closer and closer to these power spikes. Gwinsu's coming out on the Kog'Maw. He's going to start pumping out damage. They'll have to rotate over to mid
Looks
lane.
like, onto the Scion suppression. Does come out unstoppable, but it doesn't matter. Canadian Ship picks up another kill for himself. It looks like this is going to be another tier 2 going down for the side of TPR. And we talk about them like stalling the game out for a long time, but they are still far off. I mean, especially Kog'Maw. I'm sorry, as there might be a pick. Cyclone lands onto 1, and he flashes forward, hits 3. Tidal Wave does come out. Ornhorn calling, and Wukong is going low, and so is the Nami, as they are going to continue to keep fighting here. Kog'Maw kiting as best as he can, but he does get picked up from Lucian. Double kill for Nutrix, as he's going to dash forward, and this might be his 3rd here, as he does. Oh no, that's a pickup for KT. Steps a little forward.
There's the back
there.
door.
Yeah,
Kaze.
Kaze's going. Why? That was probably not what he wanted a little too early, but I mean, he has the Lichbane, plenty of damage, and his teammates behind him, as it looks like TPR is going to pick up this game 1.
They get that last auto, and it ended quickly once they finally sunk their teeth in, but that was scary for a little while. They had to be wondering why nothing was moving forward. At least I was, and that might be the skeptic in me. But at the end, it's 15.3K gold lead when they do win at 30 minutes with a 19 kills to 8 and 4 drakes picked up. So ultimately, they do push. They make the final push, and it closes out pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I never felt like there was a time that TPR wasn't in the driver's seat. I mean, they were playing maybe a little too safe, maybe a little too cautious, but they were always, in the driver's seat. Always had, maybe took their foot a little bit off the pedal, but they were always in control that whole game, and it was just slow, methodical for them. And at the end, it was just, ended the game 5 minutes later than they probably could have. I mean, other than that, it was just a clean win by them.
Yeah, fortunately, the lead that they came up with in the early game was just insurmountable. It was big enough that they could slow play it, and they didn't have to completely close out quickly. But it was starting to get to the point where you start to wonder about just the scaling from Cheesecake on the Kog'Maw and the Syndra damage being able to one-shot, that those start to become a question once you pass the 30-minute mark. So I'll just credit up to them that they knew that timer, and they closed it out right when that timer was going to come into play. So they did a great job of closing out before the issues arose that they would have had to worry about. I think that we're going to take a really quick break, and we will be right back for Game 2 Champ Select.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We aren't quite ready for game 2 yet. Nutrinks, the AD carry for Team Phoenix Rising, is currently having power issues. He's going through a hurricane right now, and his power went on and off real fast. Sorry, off and on real fast. So he's got to restart his computer, and hopefully we can start this next game soon. So that's the update we have right now for what the delay is.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's 100% reason for a delay. As I heard you, Cam, you played League of Legends in a hurricane.
No, I went
Actually, the water was up to like a foot. It was like it was at a foot, and the
Right?
sockets, the electric sockets, are at a foot and 2 inches. So you were
Wow.
within 2 inches of just frying, but you're like, it's worth it. I'm gonna go play top lane, my favorite lane,
Oh God.
even if I might die. I heard that legend. Is there any
No.
merit to that story?
I mean, I've played League in the Hurricane before. I mean, that was
You gotta
that wasn't
spice
that
it up.
long ago. I was in Florida. No, yeah, dude. I mean, like it was just a tidal wave. I mean, there's sharks surrounding my bed as well. Just
There you
like
go.
you know,
See, that's all it
it-
takes. Now you could be a
And
color
I was-
caster.
I was 1v9 hard carrying Davey on my back too because he ends every time he's in my game.
You're not wrong. We had we had 2 good games, but see, now you can be a color caster because you can draw out stuff and themes and add other issues that aren't there. But if you're just gonna be play by play, then you're like, oh yeah, there was a hurricane there. I was on the computer. It was safe. Like you just go linear, like go through these in a linear fashion. It's not gonna get you there. You gotta add a little bit of mystique. Add some backstory.
Yeah. I mean, I did go. Like we just talked about it. That last hurricane went through as category 4, and I went swimming in that. But people from Florida are fucking crazy. So, I mean, that's something that people do. A lot of people go surfing and stuff and fishing. That's like the 2 huge things.
And that's why the majority of people in Florida are old people, because a lot of old people go to there to retire, and all the young people die in freak hurricane swimming accidents. So that really puts a number on the average age in Florida. So it may seem like kind of like a weird number, but yeah, that's the reason why. All the youngins are just offing themselves in the ocean trying to swim in hurricanes, and it's not advised.
It's fine, dude. It's when the waves are the best.
GXPC does not condone swimming in hurricanes.
100% recommend you go swim during a hurricane. That's when the waves are the best. And especially if
Anyway.
you love surfing. And then like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of crazy things. Like I've caught an alligator once. That was fun. Like
So,
there's all kinds of things to do.
S Commander, I think we move on. I got another topic.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And this is chat involved also. So chat, Nutrinks is coming back, but type the company that you would most want to see sponsor GXPC. I know mine. My one company that I would pick. S Commander, what would your company be to sponsor? Like whether it's gear or like food or drink or any sponsor. Who would it be?
Oh, yeah. So, as I was told, it has to be safe for work, Nick. Thank you. Mine would be definitely Pop Tarts.
Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. Pop Tarts could sponsor us. That'd be amazing.
Mine is actually, it's close there. My ideal sponsor would definitely be Totino's. They have the pizza rolls.
I like that.
Totino's has those like oven pizzas that I had one of those earlier today. That would save me so much money if they just sent me like 5 of those a week, and I would live off of them. So mine is Totino's all the way. Ann in chat says Trump. I'm not sure if we can take money from the government, but I would take a grant, honestly. A grant, they could do that. Victor 506 Blizzard. Not sure if they would ever do that, but if they're giving us a ton of money, sure, why not?
Oh wait, I mean, like I can maybe get us a thing from Blizzard. One of my best friends, he lives in Georgia, is like a head designer for Blizzard. Maybe I can work my magic for you.
Wow, that'd be pretty neat. And we're in champ select now, so good job. We killed the time. Nutrinks figured out his computer's mental boom and put it back together. I heard he dismantled it and put it back together in that amount of time, so I'm pretty impressed with him. And they it looks like we're getting a lot of the same bans here that we had in the first game.
Yeah, so far 3 for 3 and 4 for 4 of the same bans in game 1 here. It's the double jungle ban coming out for the side of TPR. The Moo ban also coming out. We're 5 for 5.
I think a lot of the pressure here is on RDE as all 6 bans are the same. TPR doesn't have to change. They were successful in the first game, pretty handedly controlled it throughout, even though they could have gone a little faster, but they were in control the entire game. They never really threw or gave an opening for RDE. But now Red Dusk has to make some adjustments. They can't really do the same thing, and just as I say that, there's the insta-lock of the Wukong.
Yeah.
That wasn't there, and they left up the Warwick again, so they're opting for the same jungle matchup, which I could argue that the jungle matchup wasn't the most influential part of the game. A lot of it was the TP plays from Alice Kander and Jan MJ, but you got to question kind of what their plan is. You got to switch up the other 4 picks, but they don't feel like the Wukong was the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like last game, I mean, what the big difference was is Kaze's ability to roam to the other lanes last game. I feel like that's what it was, able to get the priority in mid against KTA and able to just out roam and out pressure him and get a lot of these roaming kills. I felt like that was the difference maker in game 1, as decided TPR is going to go for the Ornn and the Warwick once again.
But RDE doesn't care. No mid lane bans so far. Of the first 6, none of them were thrown at Kaze, even though his champ pool isn't huge. I wouldn't say that he's a jack of all trades, but I guess KTA just felt like maybe he needs a little bit better matchup. So RDE will get the actually, they had the counter pick last game, I believe. So this time TPR is going to get the counter pick. That might be in the mid lane that they're going to save it for, which would put KTA in an even worse place. But we got the Yasuo hover for now.
Yeah, as RDE did pick up the Jhin and the Mundo. Yasuo is being covered for side of Team Phoenix Rising here. Is one of his better champions for Kaze. Now he likes to dabble a little more on the AD mid laner side, and he will lock in the Yasuo this game.
So both teams still have supports to pick up. So Yeye actually, I believe, performed pretty well on the Nami. Was landing some clutch bubbles to get that first kill in the bot lane, and they got quite a bit of utility out of the Nami pick. But we'll see if TPR decides to ban that out, or if they don't think that it was a major issue. But a lot of supports could be targeted here, but KTA's champ pool is getting pinched a little bit with the Zed being taken away.
Yeah, and they are going to go ahead and ban the Xayah away, maybe targeting that bot lanes. That's what is left for the side of Team Phoenix Rising here. And the last ban coming out here. I would like to see this one go towards the support again instead of KTA.
You're scared.
And they actually are going to ban the Akali.
Yeah, it's interesting not taking away any of the champs that KTA is really known for. I know that he's played the Victor quite a bit. It's been his comfort. Then also the Cassiopeia. He's picked a few times, or that's in his pool. And also Echo is up, and I think that he's played it a few times, unless I'm thinking of somebody else. I know Kaze played it last game.
Yeah, KTA is very familiar with the Echo. I know it's one of his favorite champions. Is, you know, go along with his other assassin pool. I know he's been dabbling with that Akali a lot lately too, so it's a good takeaway. I feel like, especially as that champion gets rolling, it's really hard to stop. And TPR going to go with the Karma again.
And letting everybody in Twitch chat know, betting has ended, so no more can be put in. And there we see the Cassiopeia.
Ooh.
Fortunately, it's not blind, so KTA gets to know what he's playing into, and he likes that into Yasuo over the Victor or the Echo or any of his other champions.
Yeah.
So really the last pick saved is the AD spot. So Nutrinx is going to get to see the full field, and that's the Zyra support that Yeye is actually very, very good with.
Yeah, he's very comfortable. A lot of times you see that get, you know, taken away, target banned. a lot of the times. It's just so oppressive in the lane. He's very good on the pick.
And what I've seen from the Zyra pick is that he's just excellent at disengaging dive comps. That he's very good at denying engage, which will be very good for the Warwick and for the
Ooh.
Ornn. That Vayne,
Oh, that's
spicy Vayne pick.
aggressive. Uh, I'm not sure how much I like the Vayne pick here, especially into something like Zyra Jin.
It kind
Uh,
of looks like they ran out of time maybe a little bit, and it was a slight panic pick potentially.
yeah. Uh, I feel like definitely the bot lane is in favored of RDE this time. Zyra Jin, pretty super aggressive, lot of poke there. I don't like the Cassio pick from KTA. I feel like Yasuo is definitely going to win this matchup, and KTA has a very bad history performing on Cassiopeia in the tournament. Sorry, uh, as I've never really seen him perform well on it. So I mean, it'd be
Wondering
interesting to
if
see how that goes.
production or somebody in Twitch chat can get us a win rate for the KTA Cassiopeia and see if he can redeem that. We can be watching that storyline a little bit. And with the final bets coming through, it is 80% in favor of Team Phoenix Rising, 20% for Red Dusk Esports. So very strongly in favor of Team Phoenix Rising. And it's interesting, both teams, like we mentioned before, coming into the second half of the season, only one game apart. 5-4 for RDE and then 6-3 for Team Phoenix Rising, but they look anything but just one game apart. That the first game was very, very solid victory for Team Phoenix Rising. And on game two, if they can do the same thing, that'll put a lot of questions around Red Dusk Esports at the 5-4 record. If they kind of can make it to the top of the pack, and then Team Phoenix Rising will really solidify their spot as number two, as they put a close opponent down 2-0. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and really the implications for the strength of each of these rosters as the second half kicks off.
Yeah, as I mean, we see both teams going for the tanky top lane again, except that instead of Sion is Mundo this time. So not as much utility, just more beefy front line. Uh, uh, yeah, but all right. So we got an update. KTA on in solo queue, his Cassio win rate is 52%. But like last season, he was like 1-5 on the champion in competitive play. So something like that. So I mean, I'm non solo queue, just like historically in this tournament, doesn't perform well on it. The Warwick, you have the Wukong Warwick matchup. Expect the Warwick to have early pressure and look for Wukong just farm till 6. The Yasuo Cassio matchup, I definitely expected to go in Yasuo's favor. If he can just get onto Cassiopeia, he just can do whatever he wants. And I expect the bot lane to be favored towards RDE this game. Zyra is a very comfortable pick for Yeye. A very comfortable. It's what the champion is most well known for, and the Jin, which outranges the Vayne and does have a lot of that bully potential with the grenades and the bounces, and they do have a lot of CC with the roots in that bot lane as well.
And both sides drafting a little bit better for the late game, so we're going to see a lot of team fights. So quick 5-second prediction: who do you like going into game two?
Game 2, I'm still going to pick Team Phoenix Rising. I just feel like they have the better comp overall, better team fighting, so I'm going to pick them to win game 2 and take it 2-0.
And I'm going to side with you this time. I was wrong game one, but game two, I'm liking Team Phoenix Rising. Just the way that they played and handled game one, I think that they have the edge coming in. So we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back on the Rift.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GXPC motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out GXPC and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Red Dusk Esports versus Team Phoenix Rising. If you missed Game 1, Team Phoenix Rising did win Game 1 pretty convincingly. 30 minutes with a 16k gold lead to finish that one up. We are entering Game 2 here, as it looks like both teams are just going to start with a normal 5-point start here.
And I'm curious to see if the junglers switch up their pathing, kind of knowing what happened in Game 1. And there, Jan MJ walks into the bush with Alex Scanner. They didn't see each other; they just walked away. Ships passing in the night. That's that's fun to see.
Yeah.
No cleavers thrown. They had a truce.
Something interesting that we did, me and Kairos here, we're talking about pre-game, was that the Wukong I Smell a Pig here brought Dark Harvest, and he also did Game 1. I know that's something a lot of junglers been leaning to lately because of Electrocute nerfs. So he is bringing it into this game with the Dark Harvest.
Yeah, it can be really strong on some of those bursty junglers that don't get the regular procs of it out of Electrocute that they used to. So exactly what you mentioned with the Electrocute nerfs coming in, it just doesn't give as much as Dark Harvest does when you get into the late game. And junglers like Kha'Zix, Wukong just benefit a lot from that. As they have really quick combos, lots of burst that comes through, especially in the mid to late game if they get some snowballing. And Canadian Champ adapts a little bit of the jungle pathing, that he goes leashless on the top side. Warwick very, very good sustain while he's clearing, so he goes ahead and does that, and we probably aren't going to see very much early jungle aggression unless they meet in mid lane.
Yeah, we had a little training in the bot side there. Both supports take a good chip of damage there. Nothing too serious. No pots had to be burned quite yet. One thing that I do find interesting is KTA did go the Corrupting Potion, but didn't go the Inspiration Tree, where a lot of managers been going the Biscuits and Time Warp Tectonic. So he opted to not go that in his runes, but still went Corrupting.
I don't know a ton about mid lane, so it's tough for me to kind of comment on how that's going to play out. But I feel like KTA is going to have to play a little bit more reserved, knowing just Kaze's roam ability from game 1, how oppressive he was in the side lanes and how well he snowballed the side lanes. And also just knowing the Cassio into Yasuo matchup, that he's going to have a rough time on this champion, just given his history. Kind of what we talked about some of the pregame. So mid lane might be kind of more of the same. We'll see if KTA can keep up with Kaze compared to game 1, or if this just snowballs out of control once more.
Yeah, and a good trade for Kaze here at level 3, gets a large chunk out of KTA, and that's a large chunk out of Darkish, as Warwick is here. That's a good root by Zyra, and Yeye picks up first blood, dropping the ignite here. Warwick still going forward. Heal does come out, has to flash away. That's a double buff. Warwick here, and Yeye about to pick up another one, but no, it goes to Ice Melt. Pick another great root by Yeye as he picks up 2 for himself.
Another fight mid here.
Yes, that's a good start for the RDE bot lane that looked like they struggled really bad last game.
And also in the first game, Yeye got the first kill in the bot lane that time too on the Nami. But I think with the first kill on the Zyra, that's a little bit more impactful than the Nami picking up a kill. So Yeye gets 2, and especially on Zyra, lots of unexpected damage out of the plants can really catch you off guard. And Canadian champ goes down, takes that death, and Wukong comes out 1-0-1 with a 2 camp advantage here. So that's actually a really big shift in the jungle that I Smell Pig was able to get in on that play, and that could potentially be the snowball that he needs, especially getting some early Dark Harvest stacks. The early kill, and can potentially snowball that more after he gets 6. So we'll see how well he's able to translate that into the mid game. But overall, I think RDE has to be very happy with how this is playing out so far. That Mundo's getting bodied a little bit, but it's Mundo. He'll scale, and he'll still be Mundo in the late game, even if he's behind.
Yeah, I mean, RD's bot lane is doing a lot better this game compared to game 1. Does have a lot of pressure now, not much of a CS advantage, but I mean, Yeye able to play forward and out front like that, and not get punished heavily, as he does have the double buffs as well. And I mean, Zyra, as you said, is just one of those champions that, like, even from the support role, does a lot of unexpected damage and can kind of just like take over a team fight too. Does have a lot of burst in the kit.
Aliskander's keeping JNMJ pretty low throughout the lane phase, that there's not much hope for the Mundo to kind of come back and to do any damage. So he's going to be very reliant on I Smell a Pig to come up there, but Pig doesn't really have much of a reason to come up to put an Ornn behind. He has a lot more reasons to go mid lane or bot lane in these matchups. So I believe that top lane is going to be pretty much an island for the most part.
Yeah, and here we got trade out. Both Aussies coming out. Ornhorn does connect, but the Mundo passive does come out. Knock up, and it looks like Alex might be able to pick up a trade here, but he won't. But it does force the flash out.
Yeah, at the end, it's just the summoner advantage, and nice root over on Nutrinx. So the Mundo's going to have to play a little bit safer now. Canadian champ can gank that pretty easily. If the Mundo does overstep, no ultimate, no flash available, does have the TP still, so might be looking to get a safe back and come back onto the map or look for a play bot lane. Both top laners very cognizant of what's going on in their other lanes, very ready to TP, as we saw in the first game. A little bit delayed, but they both made it down. So we'll see if another big fight breaks out down there to really swing this.
And there might be a dive in the bot lane here. As we say that is gank top lane, suppression does come down. No flash for the Mundo, and this is a kill picked up for Canadian champ. as that's his second of the game. There might be a dive here, as I was saying, in the bot lane. Wukong is level 6. Level 6 does come out for the Zyra. And yeah, and here he goes dive as they are on. Ooh, that's a good condemn as the Zyra ulti does come out. So flash forwards, Ignite is down, and I smell a pig is going to go down to Dark Quiche as that was a botched dive.
He already used both of his gap closers, but still tried to go get in the face of Neutring Star Darkess. And I mean, at that point, it's very questionable of over pursuing that. Kaze going in mid.
Yeah, I felt like after the condemn there in the bot lane, they should have just backed up. Oh, as he is going aggressive, is not able to block that flash forward. Tornado does miss. And oh, KTA trying a lot of damage back here, getting aggressive, but dropping a little bit low on mana here, as both mid laners trade summoners.
Yeah, Canadian champ, no ultimate. He knew that Kaze's flash was out, and if he had the timer, he knew Canadian champ's flash was still down, so not a lot of danger there. He was able to just poke and keep the lane in a better state here. He opts for the back, and it's going to freeze in front of his turret and push back out. So kind of the script in the bot lane not going exactly how they wanted to. They got the first 2 kills onto Yeye, but then I smell a pig coming down and does not hit with his first ultimate of the game. So he did want to pull the trigger, but the great condemn from Nutrinx just denies that engage, and he had already used 2 of his gap closers and wasn't able to get a meaningful ultimate there. Alice fighting, but not sure how much is going to get done without any junglers in the top lane.
Yeah, and I mean that bot lane dive, was even worse. This pig spent a lot of time up there too, sitting in that brush and waiting. So on top of botching the dive, also didn't get anything accomplished that time either. As it looks like there might be a 3-4 man here in the bot lane, but it's going to be sniffed out by RDE, and Yasuo's going to walk back up to the mid lane. As actually Dragon's being started by Warwick here.
I smell a pig ganking top lane.
Top lane does go off. Cyclone does go through. Doesn't quite connect yet. Will get it now, and that's a kill picked up for Jan in exchange for the Cloud Drake.
That definitely seems like a worthwhile trade. If TPR if RDE, excuse me, is able to get a lot of damage on this top lane. Warwick's forced to hold out there.
Yeah, and this might be first tower coming down top lane too. That is a lot of damage, and maybe not this time around. Didn't quite have the minions for it. Alex does have teleport, and he is going to have to use it to save the tower.
Yeah, they forced the TP out here, so there's no more TP advantage for Alice Kander. Damage going down.
Oh yeah, and that's a lot of damage going on to the Monday. No ulti quite yet. Yasuo is roaming up. Let's see, slow does go down. Can he hit the knockup as Yasuo is there, does miss first Q, and the second Q does land as Kaz picks up his first kill for himself this game.
With the Yasuo roaming up, I think Cheesecake and Yeye might be able to take down this first turret, but the wave clear from Darkess is pretty strong at this point with the Karma Qs, so they're able to defend this for now, but I don't think, I believe it's just a matter of time until RDE does pick up the first turret here.
Yeah, but Canadian champ, as we see on the map here, is roaming straight down, maybe trying to bail his bot lane out here, as it looks like he is going to run into the KTAs. Yasuo is also coming down here. No teleport for any top laners. He's going to get chased down. That is a good petrifying gaze. The root does land. KTA taking a lot of damage back. The root misses, and here's the 4-man squad of RDE able to force them away.
TPR a little unlucky. I think if Canadian Champ still had the ultimate up from earlier, if he wasn't forced to use that for repositioning, that would have been a kill on KTA. But instead, they just trade health, and then he goes back to his jungle to sustain up. It's just a matter of time, kind of like I said, till this first turret goes down. They just need 1 or 2 autos on that bot lane. And
yeah, that's first tower going down. Flash forward from Yeye and a flash away from Nutrix as that root would have landed, but it looks like the RDE bot lane will get collapsed on again. Canadian champ does hit his ulti onto Yeye, dropping low. Heal does come down. Yasuo is here as Vane's going to be able to pick up a shutdown for himself. That's 1 kill. Being followed, no summoners here on the Jhin. That's a double kill for this hyper-scaling Vane.
They do have to overextend a little bit to get that first turret. They do get it, but I'm not sure if it's worth the cost. They were probably going to get either bot lane or top lane in the near future, so I would have really liked to see them reset, just come back out and take down that turret when they do have more members around, better vision setup, when I smell a pig is on the map to help secure that, but instead it was just the 2 of them kind of overextending for that.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage onto this Mundo. Orin seems like he's getting the best of these trades right now as KTA is roaming up. He's going to get spotted by a ward here. Orinhorn will come out. Mundo pops his ulti as well. Orinhorn does connect onto Mundo, and he takes a lot of damage. Is able to walk away. KTA, Phase Rush proc, is trying to pick up this kill for himself. And this is a second kill for the Mundo here. It looks like there might be a collapse here from TPR. Warwick and Yasuo roaming up. It looks like they're just going to back away here.
And KTA has the ultimate still available, though. Canadian Champs, his is coming up in a few seconds, but I think that TPR kind of wants to wait this out a little bit. They'll be able to defend, but they want to get some key ultimates back up. But meanwhile, the bot lane's pushed all the way into the tier 2. Vayne defending alone until Ornn is coming out to join. So pretty vulnerable right now.
Yeah, and Ornn's on his way, but no ulti this time, so no way to engage the spot lane as they're just going to back away, get some chip damage on the turret. What I would like to really see is for RDE to put that bot lane up top there and go ahead and knock that tower down and get some Rift Herald control, but it looks like they're not looking into that as Mundo is going to take the teleport to the top lane.
Yeah, Mundo TP's into top. Somewhat questionable that tower isn't at risk. He was already almost at the tier 2 when he pulled the trigger on the TP, so not sure exactly how they're doing that. And Cheesecake walking back out to bot lane. Dragon's up in 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's going to be a Mountain Drake, but Herald is up right now. I'd really like to see the bot lane up around that major neutral objective, but they keep them in the bot lane for now, potentially setting up the Drake in about 50 seconds. And they just want to keep Mundo in the top lane against Alice Kander, as he's been holding his own. He's had quite a bit of assistance, but has survived the lane so far. KTA coming up.
Yeah, he does have those 2 kills, Answer Your Visage, and it looks like the dive is on. Ultius pop Petrifying Gaze, does not get the stun, but does a little damage, and KTA might pick that one up, and he will, as that is KTA mid's first kill of this game, and top tower should be next.
Yeah, the Spirit Visage coming in huge, and Kaze trying to potentially defend, but he just leaves.
All in there from Yeye, as he just barely misses the route onto Nutrients.
And when you look at the gold advantage, it's not as much as you would think. Nutrients stunned here. Not much follow-up, though.
Yeah, bot lane just trading waves and trading a little damage here as well.
It's somewhat surprising that it's a less than a 2k gold lead for RDE.
Oh, current call is pop. First shot connects. Second shot lands onto the Karma. Third and the fourth one will miss. Just hitting the wave a little bit as I Smell Pig is here over the Blascom. Does get spotted on pink ward. Canadian Champ is here. Is a level up. It's going to go in. Challenging Smite down. Does get the ulti. Orinhorn coming down onto the bot lane as they are super low. Last breath catches them both, and that's a kill. And a double kill for Kaze, as that is the collapse Team Phoenix Rising needed.
And in an instant, they recover about 1k of that 2k gold deficit, and they're probably going to pick up this Mountain Drake to add to their Cloud Drake that they already have, and then also get to defend mid lane. So they don't pick up any turrets here, but with the Vayne and the Yasuo and the Mountain Drake, they're going to have a lot of pressure on turrets now, as well as the future objective. So the Baron take becomes very threatening, especially the next Drake coming up is another Mountain. So if they're able to secure that as well, their Baron take is going to be incredibly fast. we'll see if there are any plays in the next 3 minutes before this Rift Herald despawns, if either team is going to make a move to secure that.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, being down this, not this much for the side of Phoenix Rising, it looks like they might dive to Orin. KTA taking a lot of turret damage. Canadian champ is here. Does flash over, does get the root. Ooh, and a flash away, but the Q follows as Canadian champ picks up one onto the Mundo. He is popped. Ulti is healing a lot of damage up here as KTA just getting too aggressive with no backup. Tornado just misses. But as I was saying, I mean, this side of TPR kind of just wants to scale a little bit, hit those 2-3 items. I mean, Yasuo just wants to hit 2 items, is 3-0. Doesn't have the best farm in the world, but is scaling in, getting there. Vayne does have 2 kills, so I mean, those 2 champions scale significantly well, and I would have to say better than the side of RDE. So the later this game goes, the better it just gets for TPR, and being, only less than actually a K gold behind is a pretty good spot for them.
And what set up that mid pick was actually the Ornn pillar coming out. Alice Kander, that KTA was in turret aggro, but the pillar just held her in turret aggro for an extra 2 or 3 turret shots. That really got her low enough for Canadian champ to flash in. Q followed the flash that wouldn't have ultimately gotten her out, but would have gotten her the petrifying gaze. So just great job using the turret aggro to their advantage and abusing that over-aggression by KTA to secure the kill and to relieve a lot of pressure for Team Phoenix Rising. And Herald despawning here in about a minute. Both teams decide to go with the ARAM method. They're going to just go 5 mid. Lanes are pushing in. And Alice Kander gets rooted up, but there's not much follow-up damage right now. The phase rush was procced from KTA. They have a cannon minion pushing in. I Smell a Pig is going to have a tough time ganking this in a wide open kind of set, though. Isn't going to have that engage that he wants to in such a wide open space. So it might not be the ideal fight right now for RDE.
Oh, as Yay walks into Canadian champions, he gets chomped. The Orange Horde does come out, does land on Jin. The last breath comes out, heal and flash away, but it's not going to work as he is going to go down. Mundo next on the list as he is going to barely survive, but Pig able to clean up the backside, picks up 2, and KTA trying to dish damage out in the back. Yeah, it does go forward, almost picks up a 3rd kill there as he's going to go down. Nutrients with a shutdown onto Pig as he is hiding out the Mundo as he is walking forward, does get a lot of damage, and double kill for Nutrients as a 4-1 Vayne and getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, that was a great fight from both sides, just kind of extending that out, and then it ends up with Team Phoenix Rising coming out on top. So we see the burst damage first coming in through Canadian champ, basically one-shots Yay with just the Phage and the Tiamat as the only damage items coming through, but gets the one-shot, and then they end up blowing a lot of their burst. They get 2 members down, but then the retaliation from Red Dusk Esports with their burst of I Smell a Pig, the Petrifying Gaze, just so many burst tools going down, and then at the end of the fight nothing is left except for the sustained damage, and Nutrinx has a little bit better positioning and is in a spot where the Vayne can pump out more damage onto the Mundo than the cast can put onto the rest of the team. So in the end they went out from that a little bit of damage, and now the Vayne sitting 4-1-1 with the full Bork, and then also is able to finish the rapid fire cannon and the Zerkers. So Nutrinx got to be feeling really good right now. Yasuo kind of closing in on the 2 items as well. And honestly, there are 3 members that are 4-1 for Team Phoenix Rising. So all 3 people, honestly, that you want to have the kills on, they have to feel pretty solid about that.
Yeah, and I mean, the kill distribution is spread across the board, which is really good. As KTA is going to walk into Alexander here. Actually, that's a lot of Twin Fangs and a lot of damage not being dealt here. As that Ornn is scary tanky right now. Only like 1 item plus the Merc Treads.
Yeah, they're going to need some physical damage to put a dent in that Ornn. The Abyssal Mask and then also the Merc Treads finished. The damage from KTA just isn't coming through. That's not going to happen at all. So if he can tank up the front line, he's going to have a really good time if it's just KTA left in a fight. So they're going to need Jhin to be putting down the DPS onto Aliskander if they want to make any progress on that front. The top wave pushing in, he's going to have to go up and answer that. And Canadian Champ opting for the split push here. Split push Warwick, getting some objectives in the bot lane. And they might look for this Drake that's spawning in the next 30 seconds. Actually, 15 seconds now.
Yeah, as they are able to pick up their first tower in the bot lane and actually have a slight gold lead now.
And Jammin came to answer that, but I don't think Canadian Champ is looking for a fight. They're probably going to rush down this Drake. It'll go pretty quick with already one mountain on their side, and then they can obviously just play around Baron. It's going to be very quick. We'll see if there are any steals.
Ooh, and Karma able to pick that one up. Miss Smite here's a lot of damage. Is going down onto Canadian Champ here.
That feels pretty bad. To miss the smite, but you still got it. No hard feelings.
Yeah, so it looks like, ooh, dropping pretty low, and that was a kill picked up for C9 Cheesecake. Flash forward on the 2, does connect. Nutrink's cutting out very well. Darkisha is able to pick one up on the backside. Jhin is will burn down to the Warwick as KTA is going to be able to trade that one back.
And this is just frontline diving backline for both teams. That Wukong, I Smell a Pig, jumps in the back. He flashes to get the double knock up on the back line. But then just as easily, Canadian Champ goes in, gets on the Jhin, and then the red buff is too much and it ticks down. So now all that's left is just some damage. 2 of the carries still up for Team Phoenix Rising. Oh, man. Nutrink's chunking out KTA with just 1 auto.
Yes, he does have 2 items. Van game pretty strong. Last breath is up still, and it is going to be connected. The flash away from KTA Ignite does go down, and Nutrix trying to flash forward to pick that one up and will not, as KTA loses a sliver of health. Mundo is going to pop the ulti, but is getting chunked super low. Vayne does do a lot of damage, but that W passive and will go down. Nutrix picks up his 5th kill of the game. As Karma is going to tank this one up, as Kaze is going to block the 4th shot to save her life.
I smell a pig coming in.
Yeah, and he is bloodthirsty with no flash there, and he won't be able to pick anything up, but this does give him inside track on mid that they've been working a long time to try to get here.
Both teams have been A-ramming for what feels like centuries, and there's been little by little progress towards those going down, and RDE much closer to getting that turret down than TPR is as the mid turret for KTA. He's protected pretty well. It's still at about half health, but I imagine this is going to be the final push to get that down.
Yeah, with 1 auto, they finally picked that one up as all tier 1 towers are now have now fallen down. But with that saying, I mean, it's only a 400k gold lead, and there's a lot of staying gold on the map still as the two tier 1s for side TPR they have yet to knock down. And as we talk about power spikes, Yasuo has finally hit 2 items with Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge, which means he's now the strongest person in the game no matter what. So he's going to be he's pretty strong right now. I would like to see them put Yasuo in the side lane here, and just have him duel with anyone, because he should be able to deal with anyone right now with the 2 iron power spike being so far ahead. By Petrifying Gaze onto Nutrients, dropping super low, so Redemption does come down as he was burning down to the poison there.
And a little bit of lifesteal, so Nutrink should be able to lifesteal back up off of the minion waves if his Yasuo will give him enough of that. He acquiesces and Nutrink gets some lifesteal back up to about 70% health, so feeling pretty decent. And right now they're just jockeying for position, but someone's going to have to answer this Mundo split push right now.
So, yeah,
should be Aliskander with the TP up. Yeah,
both waves are being shoved in. So, you know, there's a lot of side waves to deal with for the side of TPR here. This looks like, like I said they're going to send the Yasuo up in the side lane here, and they're going to send Alex up to come deal with the Mundo. As Pig is here, and he is going to go, Cyclone does go off. Root just misses, but looks like he is going to go down anyways. So that's another kill picked up for Jan.
They send 5 people down here, but honestly, Team Phoenix Rising can't do anything about it. They can't take Baron. They just have to come and answer that fight. So it's a free 1 kill, and they're probably going to get this turret out of the deal too.
Yeah, it's the root just misses. That's a 4th turret picked up for side of RDE. It's a good rotation by them and good pickup kill.
Yeah, that's great for them just to recognize their ability to collapse without giving up Baron control. So they have the Scuttle Crab over there. They had another control ward nearby, so they knew that there was no real threat of TPR going over and rushing the Baron at that moment, even though it is a very real risk with the 2 Mountain Drakes. So it's a good call that they call it the right time. If it was a little bit later or it took longer to kill Ornn, they might have been in a really bad spot giving up Baron control.
Yeah, and I do like how you mentioned the Baron pressure. I mean, they do have 2 Mountains. Yasuo and Vayne do take the Baron very quickly as well, so it's always a threat. They always have to have vision of that objective. Because it will get rushed down very, very quickly here. And surprised to see that blue buff not go over the KTA.
KTA 2-1-4 playing pretty well. That in these team fights has been using the Petrifying Gaze pretty effectively, and just has the honestly one death, but he's been a very heavy target of TPR trying to get on top of him. iSmallPig might be caught out here.
Yeah, he's going to have to flash away from the Warwick that was looking to run him down here.
I would really like to see Aliskander go down bot, either rush the Baron right now while you have 5 members already there, or send Aliskander to match this Mundo, because somebody's going to have to do it. And they actually are looking to probably go for this Infernal Drake up in 5 seconds here.
Infernal Drake's going to be highly contested. I expect a fight over this objective here. As the side of Team PR do have the inside track. Ornhorn comes out immediately, 2 flashes away from the bot lane, but KTA is not safe as he is going to drop burst. This is Zyra ulti does hit 5 pick on the back line, does delete Darkish, and is able going to pick up another Jan, and that's a clean sweep for RDE as that's 4 are down, and Ornn, last one alive, is going to get run down here. Root does connect, and that's an ace for the side of RDE.
Wow, they sacrificed KTA as the sacrificial lamb, but that is exactly what you want to see out of iSmallPig. Just an excellent flank on the back line there, and you finally see what you get with the Dark Harvest. It's at 29 minutes. This is the same time that they were at last game, but he's been able to get 5 kills. The team is in a much better spot, and he's gotten so many stacks that he just completely deletes members of Team Phoenix Rising, and they're able to secure a 5-for-1 trade, which is very impressive with how they were able to play that team fight. And Team Phoenix Rising throws kind of a huge lead with the amount of Baron control that they had, the amount of just objective control with the 2 Mountain Drakes, that they are now down about 5k gold, just a little bit over that, and now they might even be able to come back out. And TPR, this isn't even a guaranteed Drake, that it still might be contested, and they have to watch out.
We might get another fight here, as it's going to get burned down. Is actually picked up by Yeye. He steals it with the plant in a fight here. Mundo in the front line taking a lot of damage, but Pig's in the back line there. Doesn't get the greatest Cyclone in the world off. Ornhorn does go out, does get the slow Pig, does flash Vayne, and KTA flashing forward, does pick out a double. The current call comes out and is able to pick up and snipe Canadian champ. That's a double kill for the Jhin, as everything has gone from bad to worse. Yeye with an amazing steal, and then another ace, as it's a 5-for-0 this time.
This could potentially be the end. 30 seconds, 26 on Aliskander. He was the first one who died in that, so this is at the very least they get one of those inhibitors, potentially more. No other waves, unfortunately, for them, so I don't think that they get the end here, but it's definitely a rough spot for Team Phoenix Rising. And iSmallPig, again, what's so incredible about they're going to stay and push. 4 seconds on Aliskander. They might be looking for the end here.
It looks like this is just going to end. The carries aren't up in time, and that's a game 2 victory for RDE.
That was amazing play by iSmallPig. In that second fight, he jumps in after they steal the Drake, which was excellent from Yeye to be able to snag that away. And they go ahead and I smell a pig gets into the back line and he zones the entire team except for Aliskander away from the fight and just uses that ult excellently. And then they're able to burst down Aliskander and then they continue the fight. And he just keeps on popping off, getting those Dark Harvest resets and pumping out so much damage. And I just think that he played those last 2 team fights excellently and was honestly the one who won those team fights.
Yeah, I mean, I have to fully agree with you. I mean, just, Pig able to get in the back line there and just create havoc and just absolutely just delete members off the side of RDE. I mean, we were talking about the Yasuo and the Vayne getting fed and getting scale late, but I mean, it doesn't matter how hard your champion scales if you just never able to do damage.
Yeah, I know that one of the least favorite champions for an AD to play against is a Wukong. That he is so difficult to deal with when you get into those late game team fights that he basically just one shots you. There's nothing that you can do. You're up in the air and you're gonna have a bad time. So that was just a great job by I Smell a Pig playing to the champ's strengths. In the first game, he didn't really get the opportunity. It was getting close to that threshold where he would, but this time a lot better early game and less of a snowball from TPR put him in a place where he was able to really play the champion to its full potential. I'm excited for Game 3. This is going to be a bloodbath. I am stoked. So we are going to be right back for draft for Game 3. We're going to take a quick break.
Welcome back, everybody, to Game 3 of TPR versus RDE. We should be hitting Champ Select here shortly. In Game 1, we saw a dominating victory from Team Phoenix Rising. And then Game 2, a lot of questionable decision-making by Team Phoenix Rising and a lot of being able to punish from the side of RDE and take advantages and pick their moments to fight and really cleared up the last two fights of the game, getting two clean aces for them and being able to end the game. So that was the recap and rundown of our last two games. We should be getting a ready check here for both teams shortly, and we'll bring you right into Champ Select.
And in the first two games, we actually saw the same exact bans for the first 6 that both teams after the first game didn't feel like they needed to make any adjustments. But I would imagine now there are some things that both teams don't want to see, that they want to take away from their opponent. The first one that comes to mind is, of course, the Wukong. I Smell a Pig has defaulted to Wukong both of the first two games. I think the first game, he got kind of a bad rap. Didn't get the full go at it. But then in the second game, we got to see exactly the potential of that pick in the right hands and in the right situation. That kind of everything went the way that it was supposed to, or at least didn't fall apart in the early game. And he was able to pop off in the late game team fights. And then they just took 2 quick team fights, secured the win. Honestly, it escalated very quickly in the last few minutes of that game 2. So
Yeah,
do you imagine what other changes would you imagine coming in for either team going into game 3?
I would imagine the Wukong is probably going to get banned this game. It's not going to get left up. For I Smell a Pig, that's what I would like to see. And then the last 2 games, TPRs had drafted 2 comps that do not siege well at all. Really poor sieging, and then continue to try to siege and siege and siege, and then not be successful. For a lot, most of the time, not be able to successfully get these sieges off with these. So I'd like to see maybe if they're trying to do something like that, maybe try to get some actual range on the team, not 280 carries with 500 range in a melee mid laner, if that's what they're looking to try to do.
And both games, the RNG has just given them over 2 Mountain Drakes, and Canadian Champ has done a great job of securing those objectives, making sure that they take, I think Team Phoenix Rising has taken all except for that one Drake that Ye stole, actually, that they've secured all of them, but they haven't been able to take advantage of that in terms of siege, and they haven't necessarily taken advantage of those Drakes in terms of Baron control either. So they're able to get those Drakes, but they aren't translating them into major objectives. So they're getting the minor objectives, but they are not getting the major objectives, which really came back to bite them. That in that second game, there probably were opportunities where they could have fought for the Baron, gotten a good fight while they were ahead. And there's the Wukong ban that we were expecting.
Yeah, 3 jungle bans.
Yeah, it feels bad for I Smell a Pig. He's got to be scratching his head, going deep into the Rolodex right now of what's the next champ up. And all things being equal, I would really like to see them give Warwick to Canadian Champ, but then just pick a strong counter, honestly. And all other things equal, I would take Trundle into the Warwick. I think that it's a very favorable matchup for Trundle in that scenario, and could be a great counter. But they did leave the Amumu up.
Yeah, and it is first pick by Canadian Champ. They decided to trade that pick for the Braum, which I do like. I think Braum's the strongest support in the game right now. So I do like that ban. Just hasn't been. It's been left up the first 2 games and hasn't been picked. So I don't know where the decision making of that comes from. But the insta-lock Amumu here for Canadian Champ.
So I have my own opinions about the champ. What do you think about a first pick blind Amumu in this situation?
I think it's awful.
I think there's no way around it. I Smell a Pig is probably licking his chops right now. That Amumu, very weak early, can be bullied out. That could be an Aatrox jungle. I wouldn't be extremely surprised. It could be a Mundo jungle, but I think it's more likely to be Aatrox.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of the Aatrox jungle. I don't know how aggressive it is. Yeah, I know does have that early dueling and stuff, so I assume it wants to, get those invades off, find the Amumu, duel Amumu, and take a advantage of that. And we of course do have the Mundo pick, and we actually have Aurelia coming out this game. It is one of my favorite champions in the game, even though it's super annoying to play with as an AD. It's super fun to play. Echo also picked up again, and it looks like KTA is going to be hovering his famous Z pick here.
We might get to see it. Game 3, I believe it was banned out in the second phase for the first 2 games that they did
Yeah.
eventually take it away, but Akali
Yeah.
instead,
Oh,
very strong
yeah.
pick. And
Yeah,
I
and the
actually prefer
Akali.
the Akali. I prefer the Akali here, that it's still an assassin, but I feel like she's stronger, more survivable, and also brings the AP to the table. Whereas Zed, you're going to be putting a lot of stock into that AD between the Aatrox, Zed, and a third, probably an AD carry. So I like the Akali pickup to diversify the damage types a little bit there, make it more difficult for the Amumu to get tanky and to itemize, because it's a big risk if you go full AD into a mega tank, as a Mumu can be, especially with the new buffs. So good job diversifying the damage pool. Otherwise, they for sure would have been pigeonholed there.
Yeah, and the Lucian ban is going to come out as Nutrix did a pretty good performance of that in the game 1 victory. Tom Kinch is going to get banned out. Here, I know that's one of Ye's more comfortable supports.
I would love to see the Zyra ban. Team Phoenix Rising, I wouldn't want to risk it. Irelia wants to dive, Echo wants to dive, and Yeye is just excellent on the disengage with Zyra. So Tom Kinch can protect, but Zyra can for sure make your life really hard if you want to dive the backline. So that would be a great ban for TPR. We'll see if they pick up on it.
Yeah, and the Alistar ban coming through here, probably leaning more towards that Zyra if it is left up, but it is going to get banned away here.
That's a smart ban, and they get to save the counter pick for the last. So, they go ahead and blind Varus into the bot lane.
Very
Support
good.
still to be seen.
Yeah, and I like the blind support here, and pick up the Varus. Ashe is a pretty good answer into the Varus. You match utility with utility, and it doesn't have the worst laning phase. Actually, pretty good. You outrange the Varus, so it's pretty even matchup, I would say, in the bot lane there. And the Nami coming out here, that's a takeaway from Yeye as lots of supports. What are off the table here?
And Varus Ashe, very docile lane that they want to look for picks later on, but usually in lane it's pretty sit back, and an Enchanter Soraka. Yeye's pretty good at Soraka, but might opt for the oh, let's see. Yeah, it does lock in the Soraka. So bot lane's going to be likely a farm fest until the junglers come, and try to mess that up for them.
Yeah, or level 6s for both bot lanes come down with the ultis from Ashe and Varus here. Going to come through, so expect some action bot lane at level 6. I do like the Soraka here. It's pretty good into Nami La Pogue, especially that Emax Soraka, super annoying to deal with. And I think it synergizes well with the team. You do have, 3 divers essentially. It's Mundo, Aatrox, and Akali, and being able to keep those healthy with the ulti is pretty good for the side of RDE, I think.
And also the Soraka with the silence can do quite a bit of damage to the Amumu engage. You can put him behind by a lot. If Canadian Champ is using the bandage toss to get into fights, then Yaya can really just put the E down on whichever target Amumu's getting pulled to, and then there's no ultimate, no flash, no follow-up until he walks out of that. So it gives a lot of time to react. So it buys quite a bit of time on the disengage there, for um, RDE to react and to pick the fight that they want to, instead of letting the Amumu engage onto them. And if Amumu can't have sudden, impactful engages, he's not going to have the best time coming into those mid and late game team fights.
Yeah, and I think this game it's going to be more focused around the solo lanes. I don't think jungle's going to have as big of an impact early. I just don't see, really Amumu wants to get that level 6 before he gets off like successful ganks. Can make some early ganks work, but it's kind of hard. Aatrox, I'm not sure how Aatrox ganking works at all. So, but he doesn't seem like the very hyper aggressive like ganker. He seems more of like a bully and try to invade and get invades off and duel the enemy jungler. So I think looking at the teams, I think it's more on these solo lanes to get something going. I think Aurelia into Mundo, if she can make something happen early for herself and get an advantage up there. Aurelia is just a monstrous team fighter. Uh, and along with Echo, if Kaze can bully out KTA again and get a lot of these successful roams off to the side lanes, we could see just a repeat of game one where he just takes over on the Echo.
And I agree that it'll be a lot to do with the solo laners affecting the jungle more than the junglers coming to the lanes. That I think a lot of this game will be decided on the Aatrox is going to try and get in the face of Amumu, going to try and deny his early game presence, which really can affect Amumu. I have a lot of Amumu games down, and I don't think that it's an extremely viable pick. I think it's very situational, but blinding at first pick might be pretty rough. So a lot of it will come down to the positioning of the solo lane. So if Akali and Echo, they jockey for position, then also the Mundo and Irelia, that whoever can roam into the jungle while the Aatrox is trying to get on top of this Amumu, that's probably going to decide the 2v2 when both laners rotate. It'll decide how that plays out. And if the Amumu is kept irrelevant, then the Aatrox is going to have a field day. As far as farming up and scaling and getting ahead and then impacting team fights. So your quick prediction, who are you taking game 3 for the series?
This is super hard, but once again, I'm going to say TPR for a third time. All right, I'm going to say TPR. I look at these teams and I see a lot of let's hit level 6 and then do something, and I think the level 6s on the side of TPR are just stronger than the side of RDE.
And I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna go with RDE. They have a lot of momentum coming off game 2. TPR has shown a lot of openings, kind of in their team play, and so I think the RDE takes advantage of those, and takes out the series win. So we're gonna be right back as we load onto the Rift.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Hey everybody, welcome back to game 3 of this best of 3 between TPR, Team Phoenix Rising, and RDE, also known as Red Dusk Esports here. Game 1, if you missed it, was basically a complete domination by the side of Team Phoenix Rising as they took game 1, and game 2 was, as RDE picked that one up, was able to just out-rotate and be able to take advantages of a lot of the mistakes TPR made. So that is what has brought us here into this game 3, as both teams are just going to start off with the normal 5-point. As I expect, there's not much invading power between these two teams. No real level 1 advantage. So, and I smell pig for the third time in a row. Is going to take Dark Harvest, but this time it's going to be on the Aatrox.
And we get 7 unique champions for the series that only the Echo, the Nami, and the Mundo have been played in this series so far. So both teams making big adjustments in game 3, and probably rightly so. That they just want to figure it out. It's a big game that if RDE wins this, they're actually going to be tied as far as record goes with TPR. So showing that they belong in a top spot would be pretty big for them. Good just momentum going into the second half that we kind of talked about.
Yeah, and then I was just telling Mr. Kairos here about a little bit about the runes and stuff. I disagree with both runes 80 carries took. PTA and Varus isn't great. Red try to take Lethal Tempo, and I think Lethal Tempo and Ashe is just the best rune to take, like, by far, as we got trading in the top lane. As Aurelia does have those full passive stacks and gets a really good trade-off with the Mundo there.
Yeah, I also had the Conqueror just putting out a lot of damage. We get a fight here in the bot river.
Yes, Pig is able to find them. That's a lot of damage to Moo, and he's going to have to flash away. And like we were talking about, oh, Aurelia hits that level 2, and it's going to get a good trade. So the top lane going well for the side of TPR right now.
And right here, Amumu has kind of boxed himself in. Is only going to have level 2, or actually after finishing the Krugs might hit level 3, but with the Scuttle Crab gone and both of his other camps down there gone, he's really kind of out of options. He either has to force a gank bot or take a recall, and he does hit level 3 here, so he's going to have to walk all the way across the map, but I smell a pig getting pretty good pressure there, has the flash advantage, and with no gap closers, I smell a pig's going to have a lot of pressure on the Amumu with no flash out, and also Aatrox does have that gap close. Is going to be able to be on top of the Amumu. It's going to be very scary to walk around in the jungle and face check anything. Always going to be thinking twice. Fortunately, Alistair as the push on the top side is going to be able to roam and help him if needed. So the solo lanes are going to be very impactful.
Yeah, as there's a trade in the mid lane, KTA with a level up is going to win that trade, as they are going for his bot lane, as Cheesecake is going to take a lot of damage here on that Varus.
And let's see, already we do have somewhat of a CS lead coming in. Actually, in all lanes, none of them are really that close. Leads are breaking out. That Alistair going in for trade.
Going aggressive, and that's a flash blown by Mundo. Yeah, and he's going to dash forward and does get the first blood. You gotta respect the Aurelia when she's at her full passive stacks there. Does do a lot of damage. Is able to pull off its first blood there.
The TP coming in.
Oh, Bubble does hit. And that's a flash ignite from Darkish. Exhaust and blow summoners blown by the Varus.
And at the same time, Mundo TP'd back in, so he has no summoners in the top lane. Mid lane fight.
Oh, and that's a lot of damage from KTA bullying out Kaze in this matchup.
Yeah, the gloves are off. Everyone is throwing punches right now. It's all over the map. KTA doing a great job poking out, and actually a huge CS lead, 14 CS up, bullying Kaze in the mid lane flashes.
Forward and misses the E, lands it on a minion. As a lot more trading goes on in the bot lane here. Once again, TPR getting the best of that. Bandage toss does land KTA with no flash aftershock there, but Aatrox is here, misses the first knockup. W does misses, second one connects, third one does land onto both Echo, and he's going to flash forward, and that was very questionable as the flash ignite does go down. KTA is going to live and pick up a kill for himself as Nutrients is going forward. It's a lot of damage, no summoners on the bars. Bubble lands onto the Soraka. As once again, the side of RDE's bot lane barely living.
Soraka completely out of mana. Cheesecake also going back, and man, that was kind of unfortunate for Kaze going in to try and follow up on I Smell a Pig, or to follow up on KTA, excuse me, but then just gets beat up and right here.
And Amumu having a really bad day as the W is going to connect, and Aatrox going to get a kill. As I Smell a Pig is just hunting for him, runs into the Aatrox now. Here, Echo going to get a bit of chip damage off, but nothing to really follow up. Level 6 here for Alexander, now level 6 for the Mundo. As you know, that's a 20 CS advantage plus the kill up for the Aurelia. So looking very strong so far. I mean, but KTA also up quite a bit of CS, 16 CS up for himself. And as you said earlier, the difference in CS across the map it's not even close in each lane right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because both sides are kind of evened out, that they're both within 200 gold of each other, but none of the lanes are really that close. It's like kills are going down everywhere.
Yeah, and Kaze's got to be careful. KTA is level 6, does have the ignite up. The flawless duet just misses there.
And the second rounds of buffs coming up, so Canadian champ got the flash taken out earlier. That's coming back up, so it's equalized a little bit, and is just looking to rush that.
And the flawless duet lands. Ulti does come out. Ignite is there, and that's an easy pickup for Alexander. As once again, Jan is just not respecting this damage output of the Irelia.
Great calculation on the amount of mana also. That Alexander just having the perfect amount left for the ultimate, for the Q to finish off the kill, honestly, with hardly any mana left, so very well calculated to close out that kill. And Mundo having to walk back to lane. I Smell a Pig soaking up the XP there, but he's going to show on the wave, and Amumu gets some breathing room there and is possibly looking mid now with level 6. So we'll see where the Amumu decides to put down the first ultimate.
Yeah, he is spotted on a ward there, but I don't think KTA saw him pass that ward. Bandage toss just misses. Flash, there it is. The Shroud does go down there. KTA just trying to hide it. Oh, the ulti comes out, and the Ignite, he's able to trade the 2-for-1 and pick up a kill for himself.
And that is huge. KTA still had the Ignite available from earlier on, where Kaze had already used his in the attempt to get the kill with the flash Ignite. So the holding of the summoners paying big dividends there, and is able to turn the 2v1. Canadian champ misses that first bandage toss. And for all you future Amumu mains out there, or potential Amumu mains, a lot of the time it's worth it to flash. Oh, here's
Tidal Wave and Asher onto Soraka. She will go down. Nutrients picks the kill. Ignite does go down. Here, barrier will be popped. And Aatrox is here. Is level 8. Amumu is here. Teleport is coming down. Is just trying to pick up maybe one kill back as he does flash the third Q. And Alexander 3-0 this game is popping off. And it looks like they're just going to 5-man this tower down for first tower.
Yeah, and then they're likely to rotate over to this dragon as well. That's a big commitment for the tower, but it pays off. They get the first tower, they pick up some kills, and hopefully they get the Drake out of this as well. And that will be, I think 8 of 9 dragons for them over the course of the series.
As an AD carry main, I love seeing that. They give solo gold over 2 nutrients there.
KTA going to get a little bit of chip damage on the mid turret, but nothing substantial. The Drake is going to be slow going, but I don't think I Smell a Pig's going to be there in time to contest seriously. KTA roaming in from the top side. We'll see if they can pinch.
Yes, Soraka's fucking forward. That's a flash over from Vars. He does have a level 6 ulti. Finally comes out here. Hey, Mumu will go down here, and I Smell Pig picks up his second kill of the game.
And that is Summoner out, but it does convert the kill.
Ooh, but Alex looks like he wants bloodthirsty and wants his fourth kill of the game on this Mundo. Is able to flash away though, saving his life for right now.
Yeah,
As
the Soraka ult.
Yeah, Kaze though is bleeding out here a little bit in the mid lane. 2 levels down, CS down 30. So he's gonna need someone to come help bail him out. Or he's gonna have to find somewhere else to go because he's not doing well. This mid lane low on mana. This tower's gonna take a lot of damage here. Canadian champion to back him up now.
Yeah, it's been an eventful first 11 minutes, and the gold lead coming out to about 1K for Red Dusk Esports.
Oh, and Alexander's going to find the Mundo again. No flash this time. Tower is there. That's a lot of damage already. I mean, that's through Ninja Tavis and the Bramble Vest as well. He's putting out all this damage with.
Yeah, and it is 1K for TPR picking up the first turret and also the Drake.
Kali is there. Banshosh lands Flylos. Duet does go through here. It does have ulti. It does come out. KTA is shut down as Aurelia is taking over this skirmish, as that's a double kill for the Aurelia, and that's 5-0. As that was a beautifully played and a good ulti.
Yeah, Mumu gets the 3-man ult, just super impactful, really frees up Alexander to put down some damage on 2 members while the others are stunned and unable to help their teammates. So great Mumu ult, just patience, waiting until everybody was in range to get I Smell a Pig as well caught up in there. So great Mumu ult and just patience leading that, just waiting for all members. And they are going to pick up the Rift Herald as well off of this, it looks like, unless Canadian Champ gets clocked by it. Oh, almost going down. That's close.
Yeah, Rift Herald is picked up. Good objective. Does go over to Alex, which I think is reasonably choice. Just keep him in the side lane. I mean, 5-0. This Aurelia can probably 2v1 already. 12 minutes into this game.
Yeah, usually if you give the Rift Herald over to the top laner, it's just because they've been complaining all game about how you don't gank them, so it's kind of more of a consolation than anything. I think it's always better on the jungler, but sometimes you just need to give them something. You gotta throw them a bone, so the 5-0 isn't enough. You gotta give them the Rift Herald as well. Just say, hey, keep up the good work. I appreciate what you're doing on your island.
Yeah, as Aatrox goes forward, Darkishe taking a lot of damage. Ulti is pop, flash forward. I Smell Pig picks up one, is going to get the resurrection here. Echo is there. Akali does go forward onto the Irelia. Second half of the ulti is able to flash away. Ignite is down. Flawless to let just misses his KTA is actually sticking around here. Ash Hero comes through, and he is being a little greedy. He's going to have to flash away here. In the end, it is a 1-for-0 and a whole lot of summoners traded.
They got the inside track on this mid lane. We'll see if they can take it down fast enough before TPR can answer, and it looks like they can.
Yeah, it looks like they are, and top lane turret is also being threatened there as there's no one answering the Mundo.
Yeah, they did a good job there of just recognizing the wave control and knowing that they could retreat to that mid lane and take down the first tier. So that's actually pretty big, as they also pick up the outer on the top side as well. So they ultimately equalize the turrets, but they arguably have more valuable ones down as they took away the mid lane from Kaze, giving them less control over future Barons and over future Drake. So they have a lot of control from their tier 1 mid still being up, so RDE has to be happy about that. Even though they are down a little bit over 2k gold, they got to feel good about just their objective control and the future potential from having that tier 1 up. So next Drake coming up in just over a minute. It's another mountain. We have had 6 mountain Drakes in 3 games. This is unprecedented. That I don't know if we've seen this many of the same Drake throughout a series. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would expect the fight there, or I would like to see what TPR do to be able to pick up that second Drake is to send the Aurelia and the go top lane into the Mundo and drop that Herald, get some pressure there, and then be able to rotate to the Drag if she needs to.
And at the moment, they don't have to worry about the Baron coming up yet for another 5 minutes, but Mundo up in the top lane with a pretty big wave. They're going to have him on a turret, actually, when this Drake spawns. So somebody is going to have to go answer.
Oh, Arrow does come out. Duet hits, and Varus is just going to die here as he flashes away. Oh, Soraka heal, but doesn't matter. He's going to go down. Aatrox does pop ulti. World Ender does come out. Banish Toss misses. Law of Flash is forward. Tidal Wave is going to come out. Resurrection does go down. KTA is knocked up. And then Curse of the Mummy does hit him. And he's going to be able to dash away. Echo following. And he has to ulti out to save his life. And all that chaos, it's just a 1-for-0. A lot more summoners traded off the map. And this should be a free dragon. But Mundo is threatening the top push. But Rift Herald is dropped and teleport to the bot side to save the turret.
Yeah, lots of activity there, and Drake is going to be picked up. Mundo puts a big dent in the inner, the top inner turret, but isn't able to convert that.
The duet hits, that has a lot of damage. Mundo has to pop ulti. Alex has no ulti for himself, but does force a flash.
TPR pushing down mid lane. Let's see if they are able to. RDE is able to answer and wave clear this. It is full health still.
Yeah, they are going to be able to get a lot of damage here.
Yeah, it goes down to just over half health, so they have to feel good about that defense. But unfortunately, they weren't able to stall out the Drake fight to give Mundo the time that he needed to take down that turret, so they end up getting nothing off the back of that. They give over the Drake, and then they also give over the kill, or I think multiple kills there. So it's pretty rough for them.
Ooh.
Here's I Smell Pig.
And Pig finds a Mumu. That is a lot of damage. Third Q does land. Almost taken out. Bandage toss and the heal from Nami is there. Good. Bubbles saves his life. Akali is there. So it looks like they want to go forward. Tidal Wave does come out. And the Flawless Duet just misses KTA. This Aurelia is level 12. Very strong. Level 2 ulti. Almost 2 items here.
And I Smell a Pig is actually doing a surprising amount of damage.
As he goes forward, Silence is down. The ulti does come down, and Aurelia basically 1v4 against this RDE team. Hits another E. Does go down. Bubble does land, able to dash around this fight. Wait for teammates to come, and Alex Gander is taking over this game as Nutrix picks up a double kill for himself.
That is a huge fight from Alex Gander. Just bouncing in and out, not able to be targeted by any of the skill shots from RDE, completely avoiding all of the damage, all of the crowd control, picking up those kills, and still at half health, just sustaining back up, and they're pushing down with 2 Mountain Drakes. This is looking very bad for Red Dusk Esports.
Yeah, so it looks like they're sieging. It looks like they want to dive onto this Mundo. Ulti is popped, and Curse of the Mummy is going to bring them down a little bit. Next on to and Kaze is going to dive a little bit too deep, doesn't decide to take the time winder, and is going to get killed himself, and that's the 3rd kill for KTA.
Canadian champ baits his mid laner in a little bit there. He walks up and he gets the 2-man ult. He gets Yeye in there as well as the Mundo, so they're both locked in place. I Smell a Pig walking up, but I think champ is going to be able to get out there. So he baits a little bit, going too ham for the Soraka that was baiting there in the base as the death timers ran out, and RDE there was there to defend the inhibitor. So inhibitor still standing. Baron coming up in 40 seconds. TP down for Alice Kander and down for Mundo as well. So those 2 top laners are both going to be with their team most likely, or they might be split pushing separately. So I'm looking forward to the next explosive team fight. The Gold Lead is opening up quite a bit, but Alice Kander is just blowing up RDE.
Alright, so here's one thing I've always been super in disagreement about, and that is buying Merc Treads on AD carries. As Cheesecake has Villa, if you ever feel the need that you need Merc Treads when you play AD carry, just buy QSS as an item. It's there for a reason. Just throwing that out there. That triggers me really bad.
Yeah, there are a few things that you would potentially want to QSS. The
If you
Ash
feel
Arrow is
like
definitely the big
if
one.
you
And
feel like you need Merc Treads, you should have brought Cleanse. You can take QSS, and your support can buy Imperial, as Alexander is going to go forward. Duet just misses, but doesn't matter. Just a whole lot of damage. Salty does come out onto the Soraka. Yeye will go down. Is taking a lot of damage. Flash forward and double kill for Alexander. As Aatrox going to go forward, is going to get resurrected as Alex is still alive. Flash forward. Nutrix is going to pick up a kill for himself. Is dishing out a lot of damage. The Mundo being slowed by these frost shots, and will go down, and that is a clean ace for the side of TPR. And Alexander, with the team on his back, should be able to win this game 3.
Cheesecake and Yeye are going to be the 2 up right now. Let's see if they can defend. Canadian champ, no ult up on the Amumu, so not a ton of tools. Let's see if they're able to close this out.
Yeah, Nutrient's going forward. That's a lot of damage being dealt from this Ashe. Those Ranger shots do a lot of damage. And now that is 2 items. It looks like they are going to go for this last tower. As Nutrix is going to dive down by the Aatrox. Is going low. Bubble just misses. Echo in a lot of trouble. KTA will pick up his 5th kill of the game.
So now what can RDE do? TPR on the back foot, but I think that they're going to get out pretty safely. Drake isn't up for another 30 seconds, but Baron is available for RDE if they feel comfortable running after that. But Alexander is alive, and I think whenever the Irelia is alive, I saw a ping in the base. There is a ward in there for the potential backdoor. TP is coming up soon for Alexander, and they could look for the hypey play. Also a huge wave in the bot lane to work with as well. I would love nothing more than a crazy TP backdoor finish from Alexander. That would just put the exclamation point on what is already a outstanding performance. 8-1-8, as right now they're posturing for the Baron right now.
Yeah, they're posturing for the Baron, and I mean, they are certainly strong enough to do it and can take the fight, as they are almost 8k gold ahead here. Only thing that I can see happening here is a miracle still, but this is going down quickly. 2k. KTA is in there, and the TP to the base as Pig does steal it, but Alexander is in the base. We are going to have to watch the base race and the fight here as they are stalling. KTA does pick up a kill. Nutrient though is kiting out, is able to pick up 2 kills.
Half health.
And 3, the Ash Arrow stops, and that's going to be 4 down here. And Alexander, doesn't matter that Pig stole Baron here, so he's going to pick up a celebratory kill for himself. 9-1-8 on this monstrous Aurelia performance, and we'll pick up game 3 and another win for Team Phoenix Rising.
That was such a dominating performance out of Alexander, breaking out of the lane, breaking down other lanes, other objectives, and then breaking the hearts of Red Dusk Esports in their 10th match of the season. So equalizing, or actually moving forward ahead, TPR is solidifying their dominant position in the league in the number 2 spot. So just doing an excellent job there. And I think that we're actually opening up some MVP voting, or seeing who you think is the MVP in Twitch chat. So we're going to check in with production real quick. I guess we're getting word that you voted with your points.
Yeah. So, Nick, you're making this harder than it has to be. They're trying to guess who we pick, right? That's what's happening. All right. So you guys bet points on who you think should be, on who we are going to pick as MVP. Basically, if you get it right, you get points and stuff. Yeah, but you're bad at explaining it, or Nick's making it harder than it needs to be. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a pretty obvious one. That my vote would be for Alexander with that third deciding game, just taking it over.
I feel like yeah, definitely game 3 was the Alexander show. Nutrix did very well. He actually did very consistent all 3 games if we're looking at consistency. And Kaz took over game 1. Took over game 1. You're gonna say Alex. This is hard because I want to pick nutrients, but I'm gonna pick Alexander as well.
Let's go out of the jungle, out of the bot lane, and just go Alice Cannon. That way, we're both unbiased. I think that's fair.
Alrighty.
I think game one was like 3 hours ago. I can't remember game one at all anymore. Alice Cannon, are you in here?
Hello.
Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling after that long series?
I'm feeling pretty great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was hypey.
Yeah.
That was a hypey series. So you dropped you dropped the game two. So got game one, then stumbled a little bit, then came back in game three to close out the series. When did you come on to TPR? How long have you been on? I forget if there was another team before.
I came onto here in the start of week 3, I believe, or I subbed in like week 2 for like one series, but I hadn't been on a team before then, in this league at least.
What do you think is contributing to TPR's success right now, sitting in second place at now 7-3? Would you say that it's been the synergy that's developing, or would you say that some things are just clicking with the roster, or what would you attribute the success of your team to?
I think one of the biggest things is that each member of our team is capable of carrying the game. So like one game it'll be like Nutrinks will carry, another game Kaze will carry, another game Canadian, etc. Darkcast, don't want to leave her out, but like everyone's able of carrying on their own, and that's just super good.
Yeah, I mean TPR. I mean, you guys have really been on the hot streak lately. I know to start the season, this may have been a little bit before you got there, but kind of struggled. A lot of games looked rough, but here on the last few weeks, you guys seem to be completely on fire. So what should we be expecting in future weeks? Like, are we going to get the same dominating performance against some of the better teams like White Lotus?
Yeah. White Lotus ain't got nothing on us, hello?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
like the call out from Alexander's TPR as sights on first place here. Do you have any more questions for him, Davey?
I'm curious about the Irelia play in that last game. Is that a champion that you've been playing a lot, or that you would, set as comfortable? I haven't seen a ton of solo queue games, so it's a bit of a surprising pick. What made you pick that, and kind of what's the conditions that you would choose it into?
I was just kind of frustrated with game 2 and wanted to like stomp on them, and we like wanted a more like team fight champion. And I felt Aurelia into Mundo would be a good matchup and would be good for team fights as well.
Gotcha. I think that the last question is just who in the second half of the season you're most excited to face up against. As you've seen every team once except for the new ones entering in, who are you most excited to rematch or to face for the first time in the second half?
I'm super excited for White Lotus. Really want to like prove myself against them.
Yeah, they're not very good, so that should be another stop, another quick 2-1 victory or a 2-0 for you guys. But yeah, you guys are looking in very good shape after tonight. Stumbling game 2, but pulling it back together in this game 3. Any final shout outs or call outs to anybody out there?
Go Aliskander, you're great.
To yourself. Shouts out to himself.
I respect that.
We got to get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. He can't. His head's too big for this room.
Alexander on your 2-1 victory. TPR definitely deserves to be in the top of the standings right now. So congratulations, you guys, and good luck in future weeks.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, I think that will wrap it up for the broadcast. Thank you guys for sticking with us through it. I know that it's pretty late right now, but we appreciate you sticking around, making this a lot of fun for everybody. I think that's all from Kairos here.
Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, donate, do whatever you gotta do to support the channel and our server and everything. Anything that you guys do helps a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in. Me and Kairos both appreciate everyone that came out to watch. Thank you guys and have a good night.